Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Friday edition of the Corner Office, leading into another NFL Sunday. We are hyped up to be here with a special guest today. He's been here multiple times before. A good friend of Jack's down in DC. George, welcome back to the show, man.
Welcome on, George.
Thank you for having me, boys.
Yeah,
feels
good.
To be the Mavs fan to balance out the two Celtics fans.
George, before we even get into this episode, I have a prop to show you.
Hold on. I didn't think of that.
I'll show you all what I was wearing all day.
Oh, my goodness. You didn't even have to bring that up. You had no
hoodie,
reason
baby.
to bring that up. You just decided to.
I thought of the first thing that came to my mind.
Jack just
and it's
ran
going to be a
to his
championship
closet.
T-shirt, and let me guess.
George, my aunt got me this T-shirt this week while I was home.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of it?
I think based on what we see from the screen side, the left side won and the right side lost, and the right side has a lot of questions going into this year.
So this is Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic averages a triple-double almost, but what fans don't know about him is that he can't win big games. This is Luka. He can't get it done.
It's hard to win big games when you got about 15 injuries.
You had PJ Washington as your
primary
primary
corner three.
Hard to win games when your best player fouls out with 8 minutes left.
Hard to
That's
win
all
games.
with a
Period.
horrible foul.
Yeah, really bad take foul.
So dumb.
Fouling out with a take foul was one of the dumbest things. In the NBA Finals, one of the dumbest things I've seen in basketball. That's game 3, by the way.
What a series.
4. I'm sorry, game 4.
No, game 4 he fouled out with a take foul?
Mm-hmm. Who's 3? Game 3.
It's 3, yeah. I mean, because
Yeah.
I was going to say we got decimated in game 4.
I was at game 4.
Yeah, I was going to say, weren't you there?
Yeah.
Weren't you in game 3 too?
I was at
The
game 3
Mavs are going to come back.
Dude, oh
They're
my
never
God.
coming back.
The city of Dallas up until that fourth quarter, rocking.
Yeah. That's a
I
shame.
believe it. I'm very sorry. Very
okay.
sorry.
2011 will happen again.
Yeah, I mean that's a good segue into the first thing that we're going to talk about though today. NBA legend retires this week. We lose one of the great ones from our childhood. Derrick Rose has announced his retirement after 16 NBA seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean 15.
17.
It's 15 or 16, I think. Either way. D Rose obviously had a fantastic career. Was on that 2008 Memphis team that went to the NCAA championship. First overall pick, rookie of the year, youngest MVP in league history, 3-time All-Star, and then obviously suffered a horrendous career derailing injury and kind of just continued to play for the rest of the next decade or so. I think the question on everyone's mind right now is where does he stand in Hall of Fame conversations, because obviously you have all of the factors that go into the fact that he wasn't a longevity type of player like at that highest level, but there hasn't been an MVP that's never made the Hall of Fame. So I'm interested to get both of your takes on this before we start talking about some football stuff later on this episode.
Well, I think the guy that we compared him to, right, when talking, and I don't know if this is necessarily the best comparison, but definitely the first guy I thought of when you asked me this question was Spencer Haywood. He's a Hall of Famer. He was a one-time MVP and kind of had a similar situation where he had some injuries and then never was really the same. He was a 5-time All-Star, as well as an All-Star Game MVP and an NBA champion. Derrick Rose was only a 3-time All-Star and 1-time All-NBA list, but he was a Rookie of the Year and an MVP. So, I mean, if you look at that, I don't know if just off his what's the word I'm looking for? Portfolio, I guess, alone, that he's enough for a Hall of Fame consideration. But if you look at how much he meant to an entire generation of people like us, I think he gets the nod.
And off of that point, the person that I thought of first was actually Bill Walton. After he gets his injury and he gets the championship.
That's a great
Same with Spencer Haywood. And he gets 6. He was a great 6th man for the Celtics and won a championship with the Celtics. So he has 2 chips. And he has his UCLA legacy. I think the thing that carries Derrick Rose over the line in one of these years where it's a bad class, he won't be first ballot, is the overall basketball impact, because it is the Basketball Hall of Fame. there are kids who grew up wanting to be like Derrick Rose, to be as explosive as him, to be as cool as him. He kind of had that, not on the same scale, but like an Iverson-like effect.
I think
That's
he
exactly
for
what
sure
I
did.
said.
I think he for sure did when he first came to the
That's
league.
my favorite saying. I
I love that one.
No, but I actually did make that point to Jack. Like the way that AI is like remembered within the NBA community is very similar to Derrick Rose, just because of the impact that he had culturally. But keep going.
I think a great way to look at it, which a lot of players nowadays are looking at it, basketball might be done with him, but he isn't done with basketball. He will find a way to be involved in some, whether it's collegially or if it's in the NBA. I feel like, or as an agent, I feel like he actually has the capabilities, if he wants to stay involved.
Yeah, you hope so, right?
I hope so. And
Yeah.
I mean, kind of broke my heart a little bit. I remember the first team I ever loved, besides, this is going to be such a random team, besides the Mavs, was the Bulls team with Boozer, Luol Deng. We got Kirk Heinrich on there, Joakim Noah.
I'm going to throw one at you. I'm going to throw one at you here. Nikola Mirotic.
Nikola Mirotic is actually, I could go on a whole tangent about
5-year player, all of them for the Bulls. One of them for
Pelicans.
the Bucks.
Pelicans too.
Yeah.
What about Bobby Portis?
Bobby Portis. Jimmy Butler. Just going to throw it out there. Jimmy Butler.
Bruno
Jimmy
Fernando?
Buckets.
Anyone?
He was not on that team.
He was there with Jimmy.
He was there with Jimmy Butler, yeah.
Yeah,
he was, yeah.
Main
Omer
Celtics
Ashe.
legend.
You didn't know that?
Main Celtics legend.
Up your ball knowledge, dude. Jeez.
Yeah, hand up. Hey.
I see.
Hand up. I was looking at Derrick Rose's stats today. I did not realize his numbers that he put up after his injury, though. He still averaged over 15 points for the next. He averaged over 15 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the next 9 years.
I'm pretty sure his first 2 years in New York.
Yeah, he was. No, I think it was just his first year.
He was actually, the Knicks weren't great, but he was a great basketball player. He actually was playing great basketball.
Yeah.
18, 4, and 4 on actually good efficiency too.
In New York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 47% from the field and 20% from three. God, I could have shot better.
Great efficiency.
You can't pop that three though. You can't pop that three.
Yeah, you can pop that, John.
I've been known to occasionally, once in a blue moon, drain that.
Westbrook. That man's name is Westbrook.
Actually, along the D Rose line, not to get segued with basketball, I was thinking about this when Jack asked me to come on, and I was like, what are we going to talk about? I was thinking about football, obviously, and I thought about D Rose. I hope he isn't forgotten like a lot of point guards of this past generation. I feel like will be. A lot of people will forget about John Wall, Kemba Walker.
Yeah,
people have. If you look at it, the amount of people lost in time,
Isaiah
from
Thomas
being in a bad situation, a bad thing happening, and then they kind of just bounce around. Gerald Wallace was actually the first name that popped in my mind because he was a revolutionary player.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was good on the Bobcats too, and then he was good on the Celtics too when he was there.
Good, and you won't hear it. Everyone will say, "Oh, the first multi-positional defender who did it at an elite level is Draymond." It was Gerald Wallace. It was Sean Marion.
Yeah,
you could go back. You could say it was Rodman.
Gerald Wallace was actually a part of the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett trade to Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken.
He was.
You are not mistaken.
Yeah.
Crazy hoop grid answer, actually.
Yeah, he's a really good hoop grid answer.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about Jared Wallace in a while.
I use him all the time in hoop
grids.
grids.
He had a bag, too. He low-key had a bag.
I didn't realize. I thought he was like a big man. He played a 4 for the Celtics, but he was undersized.
Yeah.
He was played the 3.
He was only 6'7".
Yeah. Antoine Walker, another one I was thinking about.
Joe Johnson.
Jamerson. Johnson.
Joe Johnson.
Dude, ISO Joe was like a highlight. I remember going to a Mavs Nets game in 2014, and ISO Joe hit a crossover against it was 2013 because we had OJ Mayo. He put OJ Mayo to the ground.
OJ Mayo's another good hooper.
He is another good hooper.
Yeah.
Loki did average like 18 points a game twice.
But yeah, I mean, I've been watching D Rose edits for the past 36 hours at this point now. And
I
I'm
heard
about,
this the other day before he announced that he retired. I was listening to the show and someone said that once a Derrick Rose edit comes up on like your For You page, you can't not watch it.
you just have
You
to
have to watch.
watch
You have to watch it every
You
time.
have
It's
to
one of those
watch the
guys. You have to
whole
watch it every time.
Yeah.
It's like
Same with like
watching
Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, like Jamal
edits,
Crawford, you have to
time I
watch
see
every
one,
time.
I'm watching it. I'm watching the whole thing.
It's like a Jarrett Jack remix or a mixtape. You have to watch it every time.
Interesting.
Jarrett Jack is actually a player I will never forget about.
Yeah.
That's a great name. He's the old heads version of Ramon Sessions or Ish Smith, the classic journeyman point guard from the 2000s.
Yeah,
and he had a big booty on him too. I mean, he was part of that generation. Him, Raymond Felton had a thumper on him. Kyle Lowry's been in the league for like 16 years now.
And that thing is still thumping.
Yeah, that thing's thumping, dude.
Booty ball, as they say at Villanova. That's what it's monikered as. They call it booty ball.
Now Jalen Brunson is carrying that bag.
Jalen Brunson, yeah. He is definitely bottom heavy.
Yeah, I mean, we could sit here and name random players for probably the next like 24 hours and never get bored with it. That's just like what we love to do. Like you saw it on the story the other day. Like I just texted Jack. I was like, I miss Anquan Bolden, and then we went for a very
3 hours. I think we went for 3 hours.
We went for a while. But we do have some NFL picks to give you guys today. We're going to talk about last weekend, and then we're going to go into, our upcoming stuff for this weekend. And, obviously we have George along with us, resident Cowboys fan. So I think the first course of action is just to get your take on what happened that game. I know that Jack has a burning question he wants to ask you about it. But obviously, we see the Cowboys play the Giants on Monday Night Football the other night. And Jack, take it away from here.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, initial reactions, you're watching last night. Cowboys win 20-15. Talk to me about it.
For the first time since I think 2014, I actually got excited about this year because we brought in what I thought was a great staff. Like we've like actually made some good moves. I thought bringing in Zeke back, be a little bit of locker room presence on a cheaper deal after we gave him way too much money. Paying CD, we'll talk. I'm going to postpone talking about paying Dak. The problem with the Cowboys, and it showed in this game, winning by 5 against the Giants is abysmal. With the amount of pressure we can put on a quarterback and how safe Daniel Jones actually looked last night. You have DeMarcus Lawrence on one side and Micah Parsons on the other, and some solid interior linemen. How in Eric Kendricks too, the resurgence of him. Like, how are we not making the Giants more uncomfortable? Malik Neighbors ran around like it was like 4th grade flag football and torched us.
Well, so that's exactly where my question was going, right? So you on Thursday Night Football on primetime, obviously you're in New York. You only beat the Giants, who are, I mean, up there. They're definitely in the conversation for worst team in the NFL. Is winning a good thing, or is the fact that you only won by 5 a bad thing?
That's a great question, and I could take it either of those ways, but I'll get with the lack of direction this team has. The only way you can go is up, because we're not ready to go down. We've put too much money into players right now. Winning by 5 is abysmal. With the amount of talent we have, like I'm not even going to glaze. Like we have some star-studded football players. We also have some not great football players, and we have a coaching staff that is more concerned with keeping their jobs than winning, and that showed last night. I mean,
don't those work the same? How does that work differently?
No, it works differently because you got Jerry Jones. If you cater to Jerry Jones and what Jerry wants to see on the field, then you get to keep your job. I honestly think that's why Jason Garrett at the end got fired, because he said no. That's what I believe. He said, no, Jerry, I don't want to pay Alan Hearns again. Like, That if y'all don't
Never
know, we
again.
signed Alan Hearns to replace Terrence Williams.
That was like
such a
that was
bad move.
genuine rage. So
Yeah,
George,
I mean,
do you think that there is a future where the Dallas Cowboys end up winning under Jerry Jones, or do you think that this entire regime cannot continue until he's gone? Which is a similar question that you could ask about Robert Kraft, right? Which we've definitely talked about. But
Robert Kraft has won, and you know why he won?
Jerry Jones has won.
Jerry Jones won because they both won when they made the right move. They are not the football personnel people; they are the business people. If you put Bill Belichick, if you put what's his face, Tom Landry, is it? I always forget if it. No, it's Jimmy. It's Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson.
Dude, sometimes my brain escapes me. If you put these people in charge of your football decisions, you will win. But if you put them in the hands of Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft, you probably won't win.
Why
Now,
did
Jerry
Robert
Jones.
Kraft catch a stray there?
Well, I did bring him up.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
I also can't speak to his footballing personnel ability.
It's not. No,
It's not great. It's
not good. That's why I brought him up.
It's
not
great.
good.
Yeah.
That being said, his team is not made up of podcasters and Twitch streamers like the Dallas Cowboys is. So,
Dude, when I saw that Micah Parsons was now the head of BR Gridiron, I grabbed the Glock and shot myself twice in the foot. Because what? And then, bro, if it should be better than what it is, and people should want to be playing for the Cowboys, and that's the problem.
I don't think Dallas is a place that people want to go at all.
They don't.
I don't
They
think
don't.
it is. Unless you're from the area, I don't think anyone wants to play for the Cowboys.
Which is so.
Why would you
strange,
though? Why would you
because
though? You are
grow
in.
up.
You're in the brightest of lights, right? You're in the brightest of lights, but your team sucks. So you have no positive communication from the media. Everything is negative. And then you have to go out there with this team that's not that good and meet these expectations that are unrealistic. You guys are not a Super Bowl winning team. You aren't even a first round playoff team. You're 500, which is not good enough to make the playoffs.
We are 9-8.
Yeah, you're playing Mike Tomlin ball right now.
Which is I agree, which is the problem with Cowboys fans, myself included. I'm fine going 4-12, 4-13 now. God, I will never get used to that. 4-13, 3-14.
yeah, it's weird, right? Yeah,
It's so weird.
It's so weird.
5-12,
I can't get behind it.
6-11. I'm fine losing if it's going towards a direction. My whole life since I really started caring, Tony Romo in 2010 to now, we make a decision to tank and be bad, and we draft well. I mean, if you look at it, Travis Frederick, Zach,
Jim.
So that Tony Romo.
Tony Romo.
Yeah,
Sorry.
all right.
Thanks for joining us, Tone.
Thank
Yeah, Alex and I talk about it all the time, right? In the NBA and the NFL, mediocre is the worst place to be. Not having a direction.
It is.
It's the worst place to be.
Being the Charlotte Hornets sucks.
Not being the Charlotte Hornets, being the Atlanta or
the Hawks,
the Hawks, really bad spot to be, right?
Memphis Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies,
I will tell you
horrible
why
spot to be.
being a team in a big market that is satisfied with mediocrity is the worst. The reason that teams like the Grizzlies or the Hawks or the Hornets are forced eventually, or the Raptors, this is a good example, to actually do good and move away from mediocrity is because they're such a small market. It's either that or they move.
Yeah.
The Cowboys could be bad for the next 50 years, and they would never.
And they'd still have half of Mexico rooting for them. That's a lot of people. It's a ton of people.
It's a lot of people.
The other half are Raiders fans.
Shout out Oakland Athletics for winning their final game in Oakland.
Yeah. Yep.
Shout out.
I've been to the Coliseum. It's a horrible stadium. I don't blame them for wanting to leave. Just build a new one. But you know what the Coliseum had that this country is moving away from that we really have to sit down and have a long thought about?
Hot dog
Troughs. Troughs in the men's bathroom.
Okay.
They had a great
How old were you when you experienced this great trough?
9.
9. And you could appreciate.
It was a great trough. They had ice in the bottom of it, like a gentleman. So shout out Oakland.
Shout out. Yeah. All right. My bad. But we're still on the Cowboys, are we not? Are we still not ranting about the Cowboys?
Yeah, George. So, do you feel confident with Rico Dowdle as your starting running back?
Here's what I gotta say: why run the football when you got CeeDee Lamb? The one
That's it, though. That's all you. That's literally all you.
Him and aging Brandon Cooks, who does his best. Rico Dowdle, practice squad, Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott on his last hamburger, aka his last death row meal.
You should realistically give Dalvin Cook a shot. I think so, he's one of those guys that I still think has juice in the tank. His brother is not that much younger than him and arguably the best RB in the NFL right now.
James Cook is a dog.
Yeah,
James Cook,
I did not see that coming.
Good football player.
I also did not see that coming.
But if you're the Cowboys, and you're part of the Jones family, you got to take out the 5-year, the 10-year like layout, and you got to look at it like we have this much money wrapped up in 5 guys. What happens when we don't win anything in these 5 years? Because I can tell you it's going to be bad.
What happens when you don't win a playoff game this year? Do we just have the same conversation? Do you still pay Dak?
The same.
Is Dak the problem?
Dak is not the problem. I got to be honest.
Is Dak Prescott the Jason Tatum of the NFL?
Woo!
Is Dak Prescott the Luka Doncic of the NFL?
Okay. And that's the one I'm going to lean more towards.
Really? Really?
Because
Tatum won, dude.
I know, but Tatum is unnecessary. I feel like Dak gets a lot of unnecessary hate for a guy that is just a good dude.
He holds on to the football too long.
He's
too long.
He's not an A-tier quarterback. He's not an S-tier quarterback.
He is the best of the B-tier quarterbacks this NFL has ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't think that he deserves to be at the top of Nick Wright's quarterback pyramid.
Nick Wright is an idiot.
Dude,
I think we can just do anything.
I was pointing towards that.
Clicking on TikTok.
You click though. You click.
I click. I double click. I give it that like
every time.
He's got a really interesting face.
Yeah, he does. Dude, if Alex got like 4 concussions, he would look like Nick Wright.
Dude,
you know Cougine from TikTok?
Yeah, he looks just like him.
He does look like Cougine. Yeah, that's a good shout. It's a good shout.
Dude, George, look outside our window right now. It's like red October.
Dude, I face the back of my own building and the back of Potomac Hall.
So every day's a red day. Every day's a red day.
They're both red bricked.
It's like freakishly red outside.
It's because of the rain's finally going away.
Thank God. All right, I think that's gonna do it for the Dallas Cowboys talk. But we still got some more stuff to go over here. Before we move on to our picks. First and foremost, I think we have to talk about the Red Rocket, the return of the AD, Bengals legend Andy Dalton.
Cowboys legend back. Andy Dalton?
That's what I was going to say.
Where else has he played?
Saints.
Yeah, Saints.
Yeah. Saints legend Andy Dalton. Yo,
wait. Was Andy Dalton the quarterback when
Chicago Bears legend Andy Dalton?
Yeah. Was Andy Dalton the quarterback when they were playing the Falcons on Thursday Night Football and some guy ran a pick 6 off him, and then there's like Andy Dalton crying in his head, his hands like this, and the guy's Supermaning with the football.
Yes,
in the back.
Yes, that's him. Yeah, he like turns around, he goes, and then the guy goes across the front of the screen. Yeah. So I think the Bryce Young conversation is definitely, up in arms right now. Obviously, Andy Dalton steps in. Bro, this happens with like second-year quarterbacks all the time. They call a random backup in. The backup wins the game. They put up 36 points against the LA Raiders, who, in their own right, not a good team. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one. The original Will Levis meme. Andy Dalton threw for 319 yards and 3 touchdowns.
First 300-yard passing game and 3 touchdown game of the season.
In the NFL this year, yeah. Insane.
Yeah. Wow. Stat that.
What were the odds on that?
Yeah.
Actually, I saw something that was like plus like 900 yards that Andy Dalton, plus 900 odds that he throws over 300 yards. So combined with 3 touchdowns, who knows?
Good for him. But I think
all the quarterbacks, I feel like he would be the one to do it.
Nah, I would have went with Bo Nix.
Bo Picks.
Bo Picks.
Bo Nix over under 3.5 interceptions this week.
Potentially.
Bo Nix actually did have the sick touchdown against the
well.
Seahawks.
He played well yesterday or this weekend. But
where he
had a spin move into the end zone. Yeah, it's cool.
He did the classic quarterback finish where the ball is just nestled in the forearm like this.
The Tim Tebow hold. Also, the Seahawks are 3-0.
Yeah, they are. They played no one though.
Broad watch. Well, they played the Patriots. Let's not.
All right, they played someone.
Gino's legit. I got to be honest.
I don't think so. I don't think he is. Have you watched him play for a whole game?
I did. I
think that he can string drives together for sure, but I don't think that he's legit.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call Geno Smith legit.
With
big week for him.
Lions.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Panthers are going to have a real conversation about the Bryce Young situation. Obviously, that's a second-year quarterback, somebody that you drafted first overall. Maybe he needs a fresh start already, which is not good.
Sad.
Not good. But that
I'm not ready
said,
to say that yet.
Hey, congratulations to the Panthers on not going 0-16 this year.
They were certainly on 0-16 watch.
It was looking
They were close.
I mean, good for them. I'm happy for them. They got to win. The Raiders beat Baltimore and then lose to the Panthers. You know, the classic. The Raiders are going to Raider. Moving down the list here, we got the Bengals versus the Washington Commanders. Is football
so
back
far
in
my
DC?
favorite game? So far, my favorite game that I've watched
right
all
now?
year. It's my favorite game that I've watched all year.
It's
I
back.
tend to think of the Commanders as my second team, just because I'm here. I go to a couple of games each year. I'm sure George feels the same way. I was thrilled the other night. I have a bunch of friends that are Commanders fans. They were all lighting it up. One of my friends looks like Jaden Daniels. Shout out Christian Johannes. He was cracking off the other night. I texted him. I was like, dude, you're going off right now.
That's funny.
I'm fired up for Commanders fans. And if Drake May gives me a glimpse of hope, anything like the Commanders have right now, it's all I can think about. I can't wait. We need offensive line first.
I'm super
Don't
happy
put
for
them
the
in yet.
Commanders. Super
They
happy.
They deserve it. They do deserve
Especially
it.
after
They do deserve
RG3, dude.
Big man
Yeah.
touchdown. Big man touchdown.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels' first career
Gotta love
passing
that.
touchdown went to an offensive lineman. And he had a lit celebration too. He was
He
like,
did. He went.
And
Hit him with one of those.
Except he wasn't purposely doing the double chin. He just
has one.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm hyped up for the Commanders as well. Yeah, that game was awesome. Bengals are on fraud watch. Another team on fraud watch right now are the Texans. They got smack diddly act by the Minnesota Vikings this weekend. They lost 34-7.
Dude, I'm
A lot
gonna be
too little,
honest,
certainly. Yeah.
Yeah,
who's the coach now for the Vikings? It's McConnell. I forget his first name.
Kevin McConnell.
Kevin
O'Connell.
Oh,
Kevin
Kevin
O'Connell.
O'Connell.
Former Patriots
is
backup
legit.
quarterback.
He is legit, dude. I watched that game.
Yeah.
I think we've known he's legit for a couple of years now.
Really
2 years ago. 2 years ago, when the Vikings went on that stretch, they ended the season winning like 8 in a row. He was like the talk of the town. And then last year,
they had
had a bad. Kirko goes down. They had a bad.
Jay Jettis goes down too. Like
like they lost their two best players.
Obviously have a problem there.
I think Kevin O'Connell's a great coach. I agree with you.
I mean, they shut C.J. Stroud down 2 interceptions, obviously. Sam Darnold continues to play very good game manager football thus far. And Justin Jefferson continues to make, I'm aware. I mean, he has the starter.
All right, I got a good question. I got a good question.
Yeah, go.
If he finishes this season the way that he started it, but then next year they go with McCarthy, is this the greatest backup quarterback season of all time?
No, Matt Castle. 11-5.
Matt Castle was very mediocre for the Patriots.
10-5.
Brock Osweiler.
Ooh,
yeah,
good pull.
Because that did carry into the playoffs.
He also
and then
got
he
like
did sign a
$80
contract.
million
Yeah, he signed a contract from it.
4 years, $74 million with the Texans.
That's what it was. 4 years, $74
One of the
million.
worst. Dude, 2016, 2017, contracts across basketball and football. Ridiculous.
Good. I believe you. I can't fact check that, but I'm sure it's true. Yeah, that's a crazy one too. Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a starter though. You know, Tim Tebow only had a 3-year NFL career.
Yeah, weird, right?
Really weird. He gets talked about way too much, but that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about a quarterback right now who just signed a huge contract, was dubbed the guy, and is proving to be anything but that. Let's talk about Trevor Lawrence. Do you think that he deserves to be the starter? Do you think that they should have a conversation? Or do you think it's the groceries that are the problem?
I don't know, dude. The Jags, I think Doug Peterson is a good NFL head coach. I think he'll keep his job this year. Obviously, he took them to back-to-back playoff performances. Trevor Lawrence just has not looked the same since week 8 of last season. When he went down with that injury and then he played through it, he just hasn't really gotten that speed back. He hasn't really gotten that command down. He's surrounded by pretty good players, I think. Christian Kirk is a solid receiver. They have Traylon Walker on the defensive line. I think he's been disappointing, especially because you see Aiden Hutchinson play as well as he has thus far in his NFL career. Travis Etienne is supposed to be a top 10 running back in the league. I don't know what the problem is. Brian Thomas, you just
He's been good though. He's been good from what we've seen.
I agree. I think they have good pieces. I just don't think they've been able to put it together. I mean, obviously their offense is not clicking right now. And I think, let's be real, the Bills look really, really good right now. But that being said, I don't think Trevor Lawrence has been very comfortable throwing the ball, and they just have not gotten anything going for this team so far.
Yeah.
George. I agree. They struggle a lot to move the ball on the ground and in the air, but it really comes to the 2 games I've watched of the Jags. It comes down to Trevor Lawrence's ability to make a decision and be confident in it. There's so many times I feel like he kind of he throws a bad ball, and it's not because he doesn't like the read. It's because he's second guessing it while it's leaving his hand. That's why his completion percentage is 52.8% right now. Career wise, I just looked this up. Let me pull it back up. He is consistent the last 2 years of 66%. And we know how big of a cannon he has. I think.
Whoa.
Cannon, and he has those locks. Oh my God.
Yeah, we know he has a massive piece.
I think he's just got to, with himself and with the organization, they got to build some faith and confidence in him. Because they do have, y'all are right, they have the weapons around.
Well, but we see bits and pieces of it, right? If you look at week 1 against the Dolphins, they went up 17-3. They scored 17 points in the first half, and he looked great.
How many years ago was he touted as a generational quarterback prospect?
Well, I don't think I ever looked at him that way.
Really?
I never.
The greater NFL community definitely did.
It's hard when they go to Jacksonville, though.
Yeah.
It's like Sam Bradford being drafted to the Rams.
Yeah.
St. Louis Rams. Right?
It's a really good call.
So I don't know. It's an interesting situation, but
I always felt like Trevor Lawrence, even in college, he was surrounded by great weapons, and he had more game manager in him than game improviser. That's how I always felt. Okay. I felt like at the time Tua was more of the improviser, and they got a lot of comparison.
Do you think that a team that's got a quarterback who's a game manager can win a Super Bowl in this NFL?
Brock Purdy.
He hasn't done it.
He's the perfect example, but
he hasn't done it.
But he's been there.
But can they win it?
They've been a play away, and it's not because of.
But he didn't do it. He hasn't done it
because of his quarterback play, though.
Not to sting y'all, but Nick Foles, they didn't win because he was a great quarterback. He had a great run, but
in today's NFL, because that NFL was built. 2017 was built a lot more around game managers. Do you think that in this NFL, that a game manager quarterback can win the Super Bowl?
I definitely think that.
I
tend to agree. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
I'm going to play devil's advocate to your devil's advocate. I think what's the new factor in the NFL is, can you beat Patrick Mahomes in a head-to-head game? Really,
correct.
That's what it is.
And the refs.
And the refs. And I don't think as a game manager, unless you have a 49ers level team, like that kind of star power around you, that you can, you've just got to have the best football IQ that there is. And honestly, Patrick Mahomes is an incredible talent and an incredible football IQ. And the Chiefs to me look like perennial dynasty with him.
Yeah.
They don't even need good weapons.
They have them now. They have
them now.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
Rosh
they
is
got-
great, dude.
Well,
Rosh
but
is
they're
really
they're
good.
3 plays away from being 0-3, right?
Well,
So I think that any team on the right day can beat them.
But
I don't think they're unbeatable, right? Like
I
they're
don't think
not.
they're unbeatable,
unbeatable.
but they're a lot harder to beat, I think, than Detroit Lions. And I think
Right.
the Lions are a great football team. They need to stick to running the football.
Right, so that's the thing, right? Jared Goff right now is the perfect game manager quarterback. Do you think that the Lions can go to the Super Bowl with a guy like him? They were a play away last year.
AFC. I do. And I think the reason that they would get there is because they have the best run game in football, and by far. Okay, then I guess, yeah, I agree. A game manager can win football.
I think a game manager can win the Super Bowl. They almost won it with Jared Goff against the Patriots. That game was like 13-10. You know what I mean?
13-3.
13-3. 13-3. So I mean, there's certainly that. All right, before we move on, I want to play a little game with each and every one of you. So we got teams, Jack and I have been talking about this for a while, that if you were to buy stock in right now and watch it skyrocket, I want to know who those teams are. And if you want to sell your stock and get out on some of these teams that we've already been talking about, this is the time to let me know, because I mean, like, look, you can be super chalk with this. Like, you could be like, oh, the Bengals, I'm going to buy stock in that. But that's no fun. You know what I mean? So let's pick some fun teams. Let's see what happens. And Jack, give me somebody that you're buying stock in to start.
I'm actually going to kick it to George first. I think the guest should go first. George, hit me with who you're buying first. Let's talk about buying stock.
If you would have told me before the season that I would be saying this, I would have told you you're crazy. But I'm not going to lie. The Arizona Cardinals are a lot of fun.
I love that pick. I love that pick.
Kyler Murray looks so much. Honestly, I think he looks better than before the injury.
Flop 6 comes out in a month. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying.
That's a good point.
He's gonna have carpal tunnel syndrome, dude.
Yeah, but I think Marvin Harrison's gonna look out for his quarterback and take the controller away.
Marvin Harrison had a great first half of one game. Besides that, he hasn't gotten a lot of balls thrown to him.
I think Malik Neighbors has been the best wide receiver in the draft class thus far.
I agree.
Especially after last night.
Yeah.
He was outstanding.
I mean, he's been the best.
Yeah,
numerically speaking, he's the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Leave it to George to pick a team with a bunch of podcasters and Twitch streamers on it, dude.
That was good.
Jack, you got one or what?
I got one for you.
All right.
I'm living in the DMV. I'm sticking with my boys. Left hand up, raise high Commanders.
I like it.
That's my team.
I like it.
I'm buying in on them. And they're
roll
low right
wash. Roll wash. Roll commies. I'm a huge.
They're probably the lowest stock 2-1 team, arguably, of all time.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah. Have you heard their chant? Have you heard their chant that, like, apparently is a big thing in the Washington Commanders community? Left hand up, raise high, the Commanders.
I have not heard that.
Oh, it's proper horrible.
That is
regardless.
Shite.
Left hand up, raise high.
Raise high. Commanders.
All right, Allie. What do you think?
I'm buying stock in a team that is 2-1. I think we all went with 2-1 teams this week, did we?
Yeah, I think so. George is 1-2.
1-2 for George. But that being said, they have a culture setter as a head coach right now. Give me the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, I like that. I like that pick.
I was torn on.
I almost took them too.
Justin Herbert. Chef's kiss.
Yeah,
I love Harbaugh, dude. I love
I do
smacking
too.
the pads.
Football guy. Football guy.
Yeah, huge football guy.
Yeah,
massive football guy.
The football guy. Yeah,
potentially one of the only football guys. But yeah, I love the Chargers right now. They haven't played anyone. They're playing the Chiefs this weekend, but
they might get rolled.
I'm all in on the Chargers right now, and it's a fun pick.
Jorge,
I say
hit me. Sorry, were you not finished?
No. Perfect.
With another team to buy or a team to sell?
Sell.
Okay. Sell wise, okay, wait, come back to me.
All right,
I'll go.
Go ahead.
I am selling the New Orleans Saints.
Fine.
I think that they looked really good week 1 and week 2. Smashed the Cowboys. I would have sold them last week if I could.
Fair. I think we all had that same feeling about them.
Yeah.
On the same wavelength, I'm selling stock in the Philadelphia Eagles. I just
Stock's
don't
not
think
that high
they're
right now in the
good. I just don't
Eagles.
think they're that good.
They're not. The stock isn't that high.
Yeah, I don't know, but
It's not a great investment.
I'm getting out before it gets lower. I don't think Nick Sirianni is the answer for them. Jalen Hurts has not looked like himself since a little while back. Their offensive line's been bad. Their secondary is not good.
They have the worst, and they have no pressure defensively. They can't sack
their
the
defense is not good. They're
They're so bad.
Good reason to sell stock on the Saints. Did you see that there were no murders in New Orleans?
Yeah,
huge. That
Shout out the
Carr
Saints.
won
dog.
2 games and then they lost a game and there was a murder like that night. Derek
Carr.
Yeah, Derek Carr is like inadvertently taking lives right now. So hopefully they can win some more football games. George, you got one yet, or what? What's the story?
I got one different from y'all, but I agree with both of them. The Saints was the first one in my mind, and I felt like that was too obvious. The second one was the Eagles, but I'm like, I'm a Cowboys fan. I can't just sit up here and say the Eagles.
Yep.
The Jets.
You could, yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
I like that
because I feel like
the Jets are gonna come back.
I just gotta
never coming.
Really,
They're
really,
they're
really
always gonna jet, dude. We've got a saying in New England: Jets gonna
Jets
jet.
are gonna jet.
They're gonna. I have a feeling. I haven't looked at their schedule, but they just feel like a team to me that it's very similar to the Cowboys. Win 1 week, lose the next. Win 1 week, lose the next. Win 2, lose 2. Win 2, lose 2, and they finish out maybe 10-7, 9-8. And it's like, okay, can Aaron Rodgers make it happen? But I mean, the offense does not look. Great.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It looks bad.
Garrett Wilson is great.
Garrett Wilson looks fine. He can't look great unless the offense is great. Alan Lazard looks good. He has a lot of touchdowns, most in the NFL.
A lot of touchdowns.
Yeah. And Breece Hall, I mean, I think Breece Hall is a great running back. I think you need security in the offensive line for the Jets to be a legit threat.
I don't think Robert Saleh is a good head coach.
They are great.
Yeah, they are a great defense.
Great defense. What were you saying, Alex?
I said I think Robert Saleh is a good defensive head coach, but I don't think he's a good head coach. He coached a defense.
He could be a great
San
coordinator.
Francisco.
I agree. Yeah,
he was.
I don't know if he's a great. Yeah, I don't know if he's a great head coach yet. So I don't hate that pick at all.
Did you see him try and go and give Aaron Rodgers a hug, and Aaron Rodgers just like pushed him away?
Yeah, because apparently he's not a big hug guy. I don't know.
We're doing cosplay of Aaron Rodgers' family on the Jets.
Aaron Rodgers before he enters a cave for the next 2 months to his wife and children.
Aaron Rodgers like missing the playoffs on purpose so he can start his ayahuasca trip faster.
All right, let's do our regular stuff here. As always, we have 3 games that Jack and I and George now we've added, like the spreads on, and then a game of the week and a not game of the week for the NCAA. We don't bet on this show; it's just more fun to do it this way. And yeah, Jack, I'd like to hear your picks for this upcoming week and what you think about some of these games that we're going to be watching.
So my first pick this week, I really like the way that they looked last week against the 49ers. Beat them straight up as like 10-point dogs. I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams. They're +3 against the Chicago Bears. I don't like that at all. I am going to take the Rams +3.
I'm piggybacking off that. I have the same exact pick in here. Apparently, we didn't talk about these before the show. Hopefully, that doesn't happen again.
No, we didn't. It probably will.
But I liked the Rams. This is a really hard slate this week, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I'm also going with the Rams here +3 over the Bears.
There's big spreads everywhere, and there's nothing worse than taking
Lots
a big
of big
spread.
spreads.
Is Matthew Stafford playing? I thought he was injured. I mean, no Puka and no.
I think he's playing.
Cup.
I
Okay.
think he is playing.
+3.
Don't worry, he's got Colby Parkinson, bro. He'll be fine.
Tutu Atwell
I'm
also
so secure
classic. This Rams team's been so mediocre, but they have so many like iconic Rams receivers like Ben Skoranek,
Yeah,
Tyler
they
Higbee.
got some bit. It's like the Rodney Hood of the NFL.
Yeah.
This is just all the guys on this team.
Yeah.
You disrespect Rodney Hood. You
That's
disrespect
not
me.
disrespectful.
Okay, good. Because Rodney Hood at Duke and on the Bucks was a bucket.
Fair.
He's a bucket on the Jazz too.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah,
he's
his
also
backcourt mate was a guy named
I meant
Rudy
Jazz.
Gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of gay.
Okay. Moving on, George. Who's your first pick for this upcoming week?
My first one was Minnesota +3 in Green Bay. I know is a crazy take, but I think this is the week where we really see if Green Bay is legit or Minnesota's legit, and I'm leaning Minnesota.
George, I'm piggybacking off of you for my second pick. I also had Vikings +3. I think it's a good bet.
Okay. I don't hate that. I'm going to go with one that I know no one picked. I have the Pats to cover -10 on the San Francisco 49ers.
You're right.
It's time for me to be a Pats fan. It's time for me to step up on this show and be the guy who's going to wear his Rob Gronkowski jersey all around campus on Sunday.
And you know what?
I think that they're going to cover this game. I don't think San Francisco is that good. They're going to win. San Francisco is going to win, but that being said, the Pats will cover -10.
I like that pick. I like that pick so much that I'm not going to tail it, but I'm going to support it.
I appreciate it.
I
appreciate it.
That is a bold pick because it's either going to be y'all put up 10 points and they put up 20, and then we get
steamrolled,
or we lose 34-3.
I was going to go 47.
We'll know by the end of the first quarter whether or not this one's going to work out.
Yeah.
All right, Jack. What's pick number 3?
We got George's second pick.
Oh yeah, you're right.
This might be a crazy one because I do like the Chargers, but Kansas City -7.5. This is the week I think that they actually solidify, put their foot in the ground, and they say, "Hey, we're gonna finish out a game. The refs are on our. The refs aren't on our side. And they're gonna win." I think Patrick Mahomes torches this defense. Derwin James is great, but he's suspended.
Does Travis Kelce catch a touchdown pass?
I think the same thing is said about Taylor Swift making 4 of the same albums every year. So, yes, I think he does. The coverage linebackers.
Are they home or away?
It is in
LA, right?
LA, I believe. But
wow, what a hostile environment that is.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are another one of those teams, right? The Chiefs are just like the Seattle
Super
Seahawks.
hostile.
They don't play any away games. None. They play none of them. Every single game they
Yeah.
play is at home. Just like the Cowboys. Cowboys don't play away games besides last night.
Yeah.
Every game on TV is in AT&T Stadium.
It is popping with all, what is it, $750 million invested? $250 million, something like that. Probably something more. Probably.
My third pick, I'm taking kind of a wacky one.
Yeah,
I didn't like this pick, but I'm choosing it because I like this game. I am taking Colts +2 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think A-Rich has a bounce back week.
Okay. He's been bad.
He's been really bad. He has been really bad, but eventually he's going to figure it out.
All right. I don't hate it.
Another cannon. Another cannon.
He that guy can
toss
whale
a
football.
Dude.
Yeah, he can throw it, dude.
Bazooka Joe. Did I tell you that I ate breakfast across from Bazooka Joe this summer?
Joe Milton?
Yeah.
Dude.
I don't think he knows who that is.
I know Joe Milton from Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
He's a third-string quarterback.
Who y'all thought were going to be, who's low-key kind of good in preseason, right?
No, he was not. Certainly not. He had one good drive.
I don't know about that. All right, my last pick here. I have the Texans to have a bounce-back week this week and cover -6 over the Jags. We already sold stock in the Jags earlier this game. This feels like a trap, but that being said, I like the Texans in this one, and I think they cover.
I don't know if I love that bet, but I don't hate it. Like I'm just bisexual to it.
Yeah.
If I was out on the town, it's a Saturday night, and I have $5 to put on a team, cover a spread. I actually might go with that, but it depends on how inebriated I am. I dabbled with that one actually. It was either that or what I went with.
How many beers to take Jags spread?
To take Jag spread?
Yeah.
Of covering by 6.5?
Yeah. No. They have to lose by less than 6.5.
Oh. 14.
That's a lot more than I was gonna say.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I'm rocking with a bounce back week from D'Amico and the guys.
Yeah.
I agree. I think they're going to look good this weekend. Want to reiterate, I will not be putting any money on these games. That is very illegal for me. But I do like the Texans to win this game here.
It's a good line to look at. I was dabbling between that and the team that I bought in on playing the Commanders, the Arizona Cardinals. I think minus 3.5. I like this as a 27-20 win.
Who are they playing against?
They're playing the Commanders.
The Commanders. Oh, I don't know about that. It's going to be a fun game for sure.
It's going to be fun.
Dude, and it was
watching. I will be watching.
It was low-key in conversation in my head for game of the week to watch because that's just a football game.
Last year, it would have been so bad that it wasn't even offered as the multi-view option.
No,
this year, it's super fun.
Fun.
You said that. You said you thought about it for game of the week. Let's roll into game of the week now. We're looking at the Sunday night football matchup between the Ravens and the Bills. And you know what Chris Berman says. No one rolls the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. I am taking them to win this game. They looked so good on Monday Night Football. I don't know how you couldn't. And the Ravens have looked so painfully mediocre all season. Do you have a hard time putting any confidence in them? I am taking the Bills.
Yeah, the Ravens do reek of mid at the moment. I am going to go with the Bills as well. I think Josh Allen is football guy. Josh Allen, playing really
just
good
a guy's
football
guy.
right now.
He's a Hall of Fame vibes guy.
Just
certainly a guy. He's
certainly
just a
a
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
Big fan of him right now. Big fan of this Bills team. I like the way that they don't have any diva wide receivers. Hint, hint. They're continuing to play very well. And I like the Bills right now. I wasn't super high on them in the preseason because they lost Stephon Diggs, obviously, but they're looking really good right now. So I think it's really hard to bet against them.
They lost their top two receivers, which is even because they lost Gabe Davis to.
I think Shakir kind of passed Gabe Davis at the end of last season.
Shakir's been good.
The reason I feel like this is a harder pick for me because I feel like the run game from the Ravens will look really good this week. But I'm going to go with the Bills because I've been loving the two tight end setups and how they've been using their blocking in an interesting way. They have sometimes they don't even have a tight end run around. They literally put out two tight end setups where they have one blocking inwards and one blocking outwards. And it's either a run play or it's the play action. The play action for them has looked so good. Josh Allen
you're forgetting who invented the two tight end setup. It's Bill Belichick with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez.
Wow. Not something I thought we would say on this show ever, but
well, I mean, separate the guy from the game.
Yeah.
Separate the two people. It was a great offensive set, just from a football standpoint.
I agree.
And I think that the Bills with Knox and Kincaid have a really good unit.
Dude,
yeah, they look good.
Dalton Kincaid, watch a crazy interview clip about Josh Allen talking about how he lost like 10 pounds this summer. It was from his good buddy Dalton Kincaid and getting him on those 6 milli pillies. he said that chilled the late night eating.
Of course,
Josh Allen or Kincaid?
No, for Josh Allen.
Of course,
and he said Dalton Kincaid was locked in all off season.
That's pretty good.
Sometimes packing too.
Oh my goodness!
Wow,
that's
dangerous
great stuff.
All right, so let's move to our favorite segment.
Yeah,
George, you're here for the first not game of the week. Two teams.
It's a big moment.
For this game, we are going to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. And we are going to watch the Tennessee Titans, led by mayo-eating Will Levis, take on the Tyler Huntley Dolphins. I love Chris Berman, dude. This Berman, underrated shout. Him doing the home run derby was the funniest thing ever when we were little. So, like, Levis would launch a home run and be like, Yoenis Cespedes with his 18th home run this round. I don't know why I switched to old-timey Bush there.
I don't know either. It's funny.
I don't know.
It's really funny. It's good stuff.
I am taking... who am I? Oh, yeah. I'm taking an upset pick here. Wait, no. I'm sorry.
Whatever
you
you're
start.
doing, I'm doing the opposite of. So just let me know what you're doing, and I'm going to take. I don't care. I'm not watching this game. I'm just not watching it.
I'm probably not watching it either. There's a reason why they're giving us 2 Monday Night Football games, and the reason is that we don't have to watch this one. I think that Tyler Huntley is going to have a legendary backup quarterback performance, and I have them beating the Titans.
Yeah, that's dumb. Give me Will Levis, Mayo Eater. Give me Mayo Boy.
I want to go Mayo Boy, but Tyler Huntley is going to go down as like a Kyle Orton level of like dog of a backup.
Yeah.
Like
Kyle Orton also did start for like 6 years in the NFL.
yeah, but I remember him as the guy who crap talked the Cowboys on his exit.
He did.
As a backup.
He did.
I'm going to go Dolphins, but honestly, I could probably change my opinion in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
This is...
Yeah, so you guys are looking for a little Fitz magic this weekend, and I'm going with, the tried and true, the best, one of the best condiments in the game, if that suits your fancy.
It doesn't suit my fancy, actually. I'm not a mayo guy.
I really don't
think
like
I think mayo is not a top 5 condiment, and I'm going to actually fight you on that one.
There are more than 5 condiments to you?
Yes, dude, 100%. Every sauce is a condiment. Things below mayo. Relish.
Whoa. Do you not put relish on your hot dogs?
No.
Bro,
shit's disgusting, dude.
Please don't tell me you put ketchup on your hot dogs.
Yes.
Oh my, yeah.
I'm a man.
No man put ketchup on their hot dogs. Mustard, relish, onions. I take that stanky breath every dang day.
George, I think you know what I would call you if we weren't recording on my show right now.
I know what you would call me.
Yeah,
you need a breath mint, Brady. Get this guy an icebreaker.
Maybe lay off the onions and the relish, and maybe throw a couple sticks of Orbit into your diet.
Yeah.
If I swallow it, maybe I'll grow little Orbit trees in my stomach.
Does that happen?
So, it was like my mom always said when I was a kid: if you eat gum, if you swallow gum, you go. I'm gonna stop. Yeah.
Well, she's right. Right? She's right about that.
Yeah.
George has an Orbit orchard.
Right on the money.
Yeah.
Good man. Good man.
Is that all we have to talk about today?
Yeah. Yeah. Seems like it wraps it up.
All right. Well, as always, George, thank you so much for coming on again. We'll clap it up for you.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
I would never probably think or say this if I wasn't with 2 Pats fans, but because the Cowboys have already played, let's go Pats.
Yay!
Yeah! If I had a Boston accent, I would whip it out right now.
Don't
do it.
Well, as always, thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Corner Office. We'll be back at you next week with our recap. But until then, I am Jack Byrne.
I'm Alex Penders.
George, you want to join us here? Hey! You want to join us here? Corner 3.
Boom.
Turkey Jive, Beehive, Chop Chives, Lake is in 5.